Evening, people. It is me, Anthony. I am back. I haven't posted in it a bit. The last thing I think I posted was that Buckethead concert video. I got bored and I decided to play some bass. Gonna play some bass and yap. Because that's exactly what I do. Is I sit here with a black screen on my phone and I play things. Usually in incoherent order. Unless I'm doing a cover, which was that one time I played Magdalena by A Perfect Circle. I did a bass cover of that song. I didn't have stuff to properly record the song and my bass. So that cover is just the bass and that is it. So yeah. More so, I don't really feel like these videos are much so used to practice as they are to just have me fiddle around on a guitar and just give me an excuse to talk about things. Because, I don't know, I do a lot of my actual practicing off camera. So a lot of my actual practicing I mainly do off camera. Meanwhile, when I play on camera, well, I guess you can't really see me playing because it's not necessarily a camera, it's just a black screen. Because I have my phone facing down. Hold on. Ugh, one sec. Overdrive wasn't on. I wasn't getting that punch, that sound that I like. Whoa, that was too loud. Normally, of course, you can't see it because I'm normally sitting down, but I'm actually standing up this time. Because, personally, when I stand and play guitar, I have better control over what I'm doing. Usually I have better control over what I'm doing. Fuck. Excuse my language. I have not been feeling too great recently. Recently that the way your bass produces noise is heavily dependent on a few things. The material and what it's made of, and the place in where you pluck or hit the string. So, I recently found that Flea has a YouTube channel. You know, famous bassist Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers. I recently found that he has a channel, of which he hasn't posted in a while, but, you know, he has a couple of things on there, and a lot of the things he's posted mainly are how to slap bass, or his own methods of slap bass. I've been looking at those videos because I've been using them as a guide. I have kind of forgotten his method, but I remember for a minute it did help me a lot. But I did forget it. I think what I'll be doing is I'm going to rewatch that video, and then I'm going to do a bit of practicing off camera, and I will try and do actual slap bass at some point. Which be a little bit easier said than done, because slap bass is kind of weird. But still, I want to do it. Now, I haven't talked about anything interesting yet, I'll be honest. I've only talked about bass and stuff. But I want to talk about a song I've been hearing recently. And, sorry, I'm trying to play and talk at the same time, but I can't really do that too well. But the song is called Cygnus. Cygnus? Flip, I forgot. Cygnus. Like the Rush song. Cygnus. I believe the G is silent. It's a Greek word, I think. Or Latin. I don't know, it's an old word. I forgot what it meant. But it's not a cover of the Rush song. It's just the song is called Cygnus, and it's by a band called Cult of Luna. Progressive death metal band. They're pretty good. I like their music. Now, the song, I forgot the name of the singer, but it features a singer. It's this lady who's got a really good voice. Super, great voice. And so you got the lead singer who's got amazing death metal vocalists, and you got this lady who's got these really beautiful softer vocals, but near the end of the midway point of the song, or at the 7-minute mark, around that point, she also does a very high, intense screamy kind of vocals, kind of like what you would hear from a normal death metal song. Good vocal range, but that's not what makes the song interesting, in my opinion. Well, okay, it does. That sounds mean to say. The song is interesting because of the way it sounds. It's a good song. It's got a bass thing at the middle mark where it's no, wait. Well, I can't really recreate it too well because I don't think my bass isn't tuned properly to that. Well, anyways, aside from the vocals, the lyrics are what struck me about this song, as it is about a parasite, and I don't, it is kind of cryptic, but it's about a parasite, essentially, and from how the lyrics describe it, it's this giant monster, almost. So it's this huge parasitic monster made of stardust. And I don't know what the parasite's goal is, because I gotta listen to it more, but her goal is kind of just I don't even know. But it's really interesting. I can't really describe it too well because I'm bad at describing things, but I would really suggest listening to this song, Cygnus by Cult of Luna, because it's got a narrative and the lyrics are really interesting. On a different topic, an entirely different topic. Also, sorry if my bass is a bit quiet this time around. I was asked to politely turn it down. So it's a little bit quiet this time, but you know, I don't want to make anyone mad, so. But anyways, before I started recording, I was watching a video on Warhammer 40k stuff. And the whole reason for this video was talking about Commissar Yarrick and about how, like, people who know 40k lore know Commissar Yarrick is a really old commissar who has a prosthetic orc warboss's arm. Like, he has, I think it's like a machine claw. This orc warboss's machine claw as his own arm, because it got ripped off by the orc, and he killed him and took his prosthetic arm and made it his own, essentially. If you didn't know the lore of Yarrick. And he's also got this prosthetic eye that he lost his eye in a different fight, and so he got a prosthetic eye called the Bale Eye, and it's a laser. Because the orcs were afraid, and they said that Yarrick's so powerful that he could shoot lasers from his eyes. So he got a prosthetic eye to shoot lasers to feed into that superstition. Back to what I was talking about. The whole point of the video was that Commissar Yarrick has been pronounced dead like 5 separate times. And so for the longest time, we've just all assumed he's dead, right? But only recently, when Games Workshop released some stuff related to Armageddon, Yarrick's homeworld, that he always protects, he's suddenly back. Because the orcs are back to attack Armageddon. Because I guess they just really want to take Armageddon or something. I forgot the exact reason why, but, Yarrick is pronounced dead, essentially, and so the orcs were probably just like, well, he's dead, we might as well just go and take Armageddon for once. Might as well do it. He's gone. But when they get there, he's suddenly back. Yarrick was dead. Why is he back now? So because he's back now in the lore and he's kind of important again, the whole video was describing a theory that the orcs made him immortal. Because of the way orc stuff works is that if they believe something enough, it becomes true. Like, orc cars are red because they believe the color red will make things faster, or purple is a really sneaky color, so if an orc is painted purple, they're just invisible. So the whole point of that theory was that the orcs, because Commissar Yarrick is so entwined with their, stuff and everything, and he's, their mortal enemy, and they're so afraid of him and stuff, because they think about him so much, essentially, the orc superstition has immortalized Commissar Yarrick from the dead. I did a Google search about his age. It's not known about what his age is, but it's commonly believed that Yarrick is over 150. This man should be dead, but he's not. it's just like I find this character so interesting because he's also probably my favorite. He's like probably my favorite not non-Space Marine character in all of 40k. And on the topic of 40k, there's a band called Bolt Thrower. It's an old, I want to say British band, or it's English, I forgot. But Bolt Thrower is an old death metal band, and their whole thing was based around Warhammer. And so I took a little inspiration. I was like, naming a band after a Warhammer 40k related thing would be so cool. And so I was like, I should make a band and I should name it Baelai, because Baelai would be really cool for a band name. Unless it's not already a name for a band. Because I don't think there's a band out there called Baelai. Because it's like, if I like Yarick so much, like, I should name a band after him, because that'd be really sick. It just, like, would seem cool. I've yapped for 20 minutes. I might end this session here. I think I've yapped more than I played, actually. Oops. Well, that'll be all for this session. I was just kind of bored. Hope you all have a good day. See you all around. This is Anthony signing off. Peace out.